Alright, this video is about managing your customer groups. If you've never worked with groups in routeman, you want to watch the video that's called Creating Customer Groups. This video is for the more advanced ways to work with your groups, whether you're adding new customers into them or merging them and things like that. Okay, to begin with, whenever you're adding a customer to routeman, you should consider which groups are they a part of. So with this particular customer, if I were creating their account, I would hit the Groups tab, and then I would hit Set Groups, and here are all my groups to choose from, and I would automatically want to put them in the All Customers group, and then I would look down the list and just see if it's appropriate that they are added to any others. If not, I would just hit Submit, and are you sure? Yes. Now he's in that group, and from then on, if I wanted to add them again or remove them from a group, I'd just hit one of these buttons right here and it pops up the box, and I can add them to whichever groups is appropriate. Okay. One of the ways that this is very helpful is if you're using pricing groups. So if you had pricing groups and you were able to come in and select the correct prices for the products that this customer is planning on receiving, that would be very handy. Okay, you can see from my list that I currently don't have any pricing groups, so let's talk about how to do that. If you go to Utilities, there is a function called Create Pricing Groups from Same Customer Prices. So if you choose this, what happens is routeman looks at all your different customer specific prices. It ignores all of the all prices or groups that are already created, and it takes all the individual prices and compares, okay, for 10-pound bagged ice at 97 cents, I have 49 different customers that receive that price. Would I like to create a group that's called that name right there? Okay, and so you can have as many different price points as you want, and what it does is any price point that has at least 3 different customers receiving exactly that price for that product, it offers it to you. Now you can come in here, look at the list, and hit Create Proposed Pricing Groups. It will instantly create all these different groups. If you only want one of them, you need to filter it down so that it only lists that one. So one of the ways you could do that is, let's say I just wanted this one here, the 20-pound bagged ice for $3.50. In this filter box, I could choose customer price and $3.50. Okay, now if I hit the Create Proposed Pricing Groups, it's only going to create this one. But in my case, I'm okay with creating all of these. So I'm going to hit Create Proposed and yes. Okay. And now if I come up here to Groups and I choose from the box, you can see I have all those brand new pricing groups. If I click into them, it's going to list all the different customers that were offered to me a few moments ago. So for example, that 97 cents, if you remember, there were 40 something customers in that range, and you can see that I have multiple different pricing groups for the same customer. This target number 24 is in several different pricing groups. So now if I went back to the new customer that I was working with, Clearview Mini Mart, there we go. You can see that they've been added to 20-pound bagged ice at $3.50. If I'm just creating this customer account from the beginning, it would be helpful to say, oh, what price point am I going to sell the 10-pound bagged ice to that customer for? I'm going to give them the $1.05. And now they're in that group, they automatically get that price. And the benefit to doing this, when you manage them this way, you're not creating a customer specific over and over and over again for all these different customers. They're in groups. And then when you want to make price changes, at the end of the season, you want everyone who's paying $1.05 to go up to $1.10. You just make one change for the whole group and everyone gets the change at the same time. If you need to make a change where just this customer is being changed from one price point to another, it's as simple as coming in here, choosing set groups, and taking them out of this group and adding them to that one. And the next invoice that you go to make with them, as long as they've done a full sync, the device is going to detect that price and they'll get the price change immediately. There are many different ways to use groups other than pricing groups. Let's talk about how sometimes you will want to actually combine different groups. One of the ways you'll often find it helpful to start is by creating the new group that these groups are going to merge into. Now, if you just want to expand and add to a group, that's very simple. But if you want to keep the original groups and create a combined group, you want to create that one first that they're going to land into. So in my case, I'm going to create a group of pharmacy stores. Okay, now the group exists. Here are my customers and here's my empty group. What I'm going to do is hit return, and that saves an empty group now. Now I'm going to come to bulk customer edit. Okay, what I'm going to do is choose the first group of customers that I want to add to the new group. Okay, so I have 43 customers in my CVS stores group. Now I'm going to select them all and I'm going to say add selected customers to a group. And I'm going to choose my pharmacy stores group and submit. Okay, and I get this message that tells me they're being added. Okay, now if I come up here and I choose pharmacy stores, those are in there. Okay, wonderful. Now I want to go choose my next group of pharmacy stores that I want to add in, which is going to be Rite Aid. Okay, so I only have 6 Rite Aids, but I can do the same thing. Add selected customers to a group and put them in. And I can continue to add the really wonderful thing about using bulk customer update is if you had to change them based on some other criteria, you can filter in so many different ways. Last, I'm going to add my Walgreens stores. That's 18 more. I'm going to highlight them, add selected to a group, and pharmacy stores, submit, update complete. All right, so now if I come back and I look at groups and I choose my new pharmacy stores, I have 67. I have CVS, I have Rite Aid, and Walgreens all in the same group. Okay, one of the other things that happens is you will have your entire customer pool split into 2 different groups. Maybe you are working with another ice company as a distributor and you have their customers and your customers. And so you want to make sure that every customer in your database is in one of those 2 categories. Well, Jack has designed a really cool feature that's called creating opposite group. So you want to do this when your entire database is split between 2 groups. And what you can do is choose any group. Let's use this one for this particular example. Okay, COD customers active. Okay, I have 138 customers that are in this group. If I create the opposite group, I can choose either active customers only or to include let's say include inactive customers. Okay, that should give me 1,000 in the opposite group. And when I do that, I can call it anything I want. The default name that's suggested is the name of the group that I started with the word opposite at the end. So for example, let's say you're distributing for Ready Ice and you have a Ready Ice customers group. Well, this would be offering you the name of Ready Ice customers opposite, but you could go in there and name it the name of your company to segregate between Ready Ice customers and your customers, or Arctic Glacier, or Home City Ice, or whoever you're distributing for. It's very easy then to make sure that all of your customers are in one group or the other. No one's falling through the cracks. Okay, one other thing is you may have a group that you need to update every so often based on a particular criteria. So in this case, we're going to go back to bulk customer edit, and we're going to look at a customer group I have called COD customers active 6/1/2020. Okay, and so this is a group of customers that I only want active customers that pay by COD, and I want to keep this up to date. So today I need to come in here and update and make sure that all my COD customers that are active customers are in this list. So I have 138 to begin with. Well, what I'm going to do is actually load all of my customers, and then I'm going to filter based on payment method. Okay, and when you filter by payment method, you can't type in cash or credit card or whatever. You need to type in the payment ID number, which I happen to know that in this case COD is 1. Okay, so I'm filtering by my payment method. If you come over here to the payment method column, you can see that all of these customers are COD. Okay, so if you were looking to see a different payment type, if you typed in 2, okay, that would be bill customers or whatever. But in my case, I want all my COD customers. Okay, so that's 262 customers. That means I've added a lot of customers to COD or added new customers, and they're not in that group that I wanted. So I want to make sure that I add these, but I only want the ones that are active right now. And you can see I've got a few of them that are not active. So I'm going to add a new filter. I want to keep the old filter and this new one. And I'm going to choose active and equals to, and in this case 1, because 1 equals true or on. Okay, so I want them to be active customers, and I'm going to click apply filter, and you can see now that I'm down to 258 rows. It took out the ones that are not active, but it's including the 138 that I had to begin with and many more customers. So what I'm going to do is highlight the entire field and add selected customers to a group. And I'm going to choose my COD customers active 6/1/20. And it gives me the message that some of the customers are already selected in the group, but others have been added. Okay. And now I'm going to close out of there. And then what you can do is come back into customer groups, find your COD customers. Okay, here we go. I have the total of 259 now. Now what I can do is edit this and update the date on it. Okay, so in today's case, it's 9/22/2020. Now I have a frame of reference that as of 9/22, these are my COD active customers, and I have a sense of how long it's been since I updated this list. So maybe in some cases I need to do this every week or once a month to make sure that everything's being managed and kept track of. If you would like to maintain the old groups as a frame of reference, or for some particular reason What you could do is next time, instead of adding to the 6-1 group and then coming back here and changing the name, you could actually create a copy to begin with and edit the name to today's date or the new date, and then add the customers to that group. So I hope you found it helpful to learn all about managing your groups. Certainly there are other nuances and details and different ways of making things work for you. Call the office if you have any questions, and we can help you find a way to make customer groups work for you.